Our environment is everything around us, and it ranges from the non-living, like our soil or rainfall, to the living, such as plants and animals. Today we're sharing with you some important elements of our environment and how they impact us. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry, and welcome to the pages of Jamaica Magazine. We're always set on teaching you something new and exciting, and today is no different. Stay tuned to see what we have planned.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some Jamaica.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, July 17. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is reporting that the special security measures under the states of public emergency have been effective in driving down crime in communities where they have been imposed. Between January 1 and July 15, there has been 17 fewer murders in Kingston Western when compared to the same period last year. 22 fewer murders were committed in St. Catherine North, while Westmoreland's number dropped by 26, and Hanover saw 12 fewer murders during the period. Mr. Holness says similar reductions have been recorded in the St. Mary, Portland, St. Thomas, and Clarendon police divisions. Despite these successes, the Prime Minister revealed that between January 1 and July 15, there were 726 murders and shootings across 19 police divisions. He says this is concerning, as it is more than half the 1,287 murders recorded in the country in 2018. As a result, Mr. Holness called for a continuation of the states of public emergency, which he says could bring the island's crime rate to the regional average of 16 murders per 100,000 persons.
If we continue to use this strategy in a selective way, give ourselves 5 to 7 years, and we can bring our murder rate down to 16 per 100,000 or 500. And then after that, you would be in a position to now use conventional methods to maintain that and reduce crime fully.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the assertions during Tuesday's sitting of the House of Representatives. 44 of the 63 members of Parliament voted in favor of his motion to extend the state of public emergency in the St. Andrew South Police Division until October 5. In other news, the ban on styrofoam products used in the food and beverage industry is on track to be implemented come January 1, 2020. The ban applies to local manufacturing, distribution, and use of expanded polystyrene foam. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Daryl Vaz, gave the commitment during his sectoral debate presentation in Parliament this Tuesday. He said there was tremendous public and private sector support for the ban on certain categories of single-use plastics, which took effect on January 1, 2019. In addition to spending over $30 million on a public education and awareness campaign, Minister Vaz said the state would support the private sector-led deposit refund scheme for PET bottles. He says the scheme will be fully rolled out in February 2020.
The government has charged the private sector to achieve a recovery rate of 85% within the first 2 years of implementation of the deposit refund scheme. I've been advised by the private sector that the necessary logistical arrangements are presently being put in place for the effective implementation of the DRS in 2020.
And still in Parliament Tuesday, the long-awaited Sexual Harassment Bill 2019 was referred to a special joint select committee of the Houses of Parliament. The bill seeks to protect all women and men from unwanted sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and crude sexual behaviors that affect quality of life by creating an intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment. As she tabled the bill Tuesday, Gender Affairs Minister Olivia Grange asked that it go before a joint select committee for consideration. Committee members from the House of Representatives are Minister Grange and her fellow cabinet member, Delroy Chuck, along with Marissa Dalrymple Philibert, Anne-Marie Vaz, Natalie Nita, Horace Daly, and Dr. Angela Brown Burke. A similar member pool from the upper house is expected to be announced during Friday's sitting of the Senate. Government has approved additional funds to truck water and effect repairs to systems that supply the commodity to communities affected by drought. Minister without portfolio in the Economic Growth and Job Creation Ministry, Pernell Charles Jr., says a trucking schedule has been compiled for communities in Manchester, St. Elizabeth, and other parishes. He also revealed that government was taking a proactive approach to water management with the recent tabling of the National Water Policy and the soon-to-be finalized Integrated Water Management Council.
We know that consistently we have had droughts and other extreme weather systems affecting us, whether it is flood or drought, and there's a tendency once things normalize for us to divert our attention. What we want to do is to make sure that water receives the priority it deserves 24 hours a day, 365 days for the year, not just when it is an emergency.
Minister Charles was addressing political representatives from East and West Rural St. Andrew and St. Thomas at his New Kingston office on Tuesday. Also in attendance were representatives from the National Water Commission, Rural Water Supply Limited, Water Resources Authority, and the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The meetings are a continuation of directives given by Prime Minister Andrew Holness for the state to get a first-hand and localized view of the water shortage affecting sections of the island. Similar meetings were held with municipal corporations and members of parliament. And finally, over 120 local producers of authentic Jamaican gifts and souvenir items will showcase their products at the 5th staging of Christmas in July. The event is slated for tomorrow, July 18, at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston. Activities will get underway at 9 a.m. with an opening ceremony, and the exhibition floor will open to the public at 1 p.m. On display will be traditional souvenir items of all kinds, corporate, home and decorative accessories, desktop solutions, specialty foods, and aromatherapy spa products. This year's staging will also include a Style Jamaica pop-up fashion show, showcasing jewelry, bags, and accessories made by local artisans. Christmas in July is a collaborative effort of the Tourism Linkages Network and its partners, Jamaica Promotions Corporation, Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Jamaica Business Development Corporation, and Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Protect yourself from the flu virus. Visit your nearest health center or doctor to get the flu vaccine. Cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water or by using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid the spread of germs by not touching your eyes, mouth, or nose. And be sure to regularly disinfect surfaces and objects that are used often. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
Here's one way how our local environment has blessed us with plants proven to have medicinal values. Let's explore the Natural History Museum.
Necessity is the mother of invention, and we had to find a way to survive. And so for the plants, the natural gift of the Creator, we could rely on it to guide us into what we needed to do. I didn't know about Fenzik and your pharmaceutical things. I know about bush. So if I had a headache, I knew as a child that I should use the leaves of 3 mackerel bush and a piece of cloth and tie it on my head, and the pain would go.
The use of herbs as medicine. While this age-old practice has been overlooked by many, the Institute of Jamaica saw it fitting to mount an exhibition on medicinal plants of Jamaica and their uses, bringing to the present the medicinal habits used in the past.
So at least 330 plants have been found growing in Jamaica, have been identified as having medicinal value. Of that 334, at least 193 have been assessed for their biochemical activities, and 23 of those are actually endemic plants.
Not every plant though in its natural form is good, is accessible to everybody. And knowing the information about the plant and wanting to get that into the hands of the people, some of our scientists have begun to study extensively some of these plants to see how they can be formulated in such a way so that they can be packaged and be accessible to the public.
You just don't wake up and say, Eureka, I have found it. They would have learned from the people in the community what plants were used for what purpose. So you know all those things in your childhood because they were continually using the plants of nature to assist in what they were doing.
Ever since I was a child, my mom always said me go break a piece of bush to make tea if the tea bag run out. But what was I getting out of it? I had no clue. And sometimes people say it worked, some other people say it didn't work. So that's why I really did the research to find out if these plants actually work. We started only making butterbrush, which is also known as polystyrene viminalis. And then we broadened and we focused on lemongrass. We focused on most of the herbs that are used by native Jamaicans to cure different ailments.
In addition to the showcase, students from the Dunrobin, Chetola Park, and the Rollington Town primary schools were scientists for a day as they participated in one of the institution's monthly and afternoon with a scientist sessions. Modeled around the Ministry of Education's academic calendar, the mandate of the program is to expose students to and encourage an appreciation for different disciplines of science through fun-filled scientific activities.
I've been promoting entrepreneurship, especially in the medicinal plant industry. So one of the things I do is to give back. So I volunteer even at my children's school. We have an entrepreneurial club where I teach them to make different products from plants.
I learned that they can use herbs to make soap. It was very exciting because I got to see what dangerous chemicals they use in it and how is it correct to go on the skin. First, we had to put some coconut oil in like a metal cup. Then we had to put shea butter in it and melt it. And then we put it in sodium hydroxide. And it was very, very, very hot. I spilled it a couple times, but it was okay, just a little cleanup. And it began to get thick, so I was like, what should I do now? And she was like, just mix it, it's normal. And then we got to put what we want in there. I put charcoal in there, and then I made a swirl in the mold. It was a very good experience.
I'm so happy our students were able to participate in the activity held here at the Institute, where they learn more about medicinal plants. I believe it's very important for them to know that the plants that are found right there in their backyards can be used for healing of ailments that they'll have, the common cold, whatever the ailment may be.
This is what I would like to engage the people in. Go back to their communities and learn how people lived. A generation which came out of slavery could neither read nor write, and yet they were able to contain themselves and to live. We want the students to have some respect for the heritage of this country because it is going to guide you to the future.
Water is precious. So we encourage everyone to practice the 4 R's of water conservation. Always remember to reduce your use of water wherever possible. Replace water wasting devices with water savings devices. Reuse water wherever possible. And wherever leaks are found, please repair them and repair them quickly.
Don't delay. Practice the 4 R's of water conservation today.
Our environment matters because it provides us as humans with many foods that we need, such as Irish potato. Well, our government has launched Jamaica's Irish Potato Planting Program. And what's the aim? Teaching farmers about the ideal way to grow the product. Here's more.
We have the temperature, we have the good soil, we have experienced farmers, we have the technical staff from RADA. So we decided to, instead of we import table potato, we decided to import the seed. And that's where the program started. We go across the island in the Irish potato growing area, and we conduct what is known as potato sensitization meeting, where we give the farmers a theoretical experience of what is expected of them, how to grow, how to take care of your Irish, and the ultimate return. For this season, we have conducted 18 sensitization meetings, and over 4,000 farmers have attended these meetings.
The National Potato Program is good for the country, it's good for us. And I believe the government should continue. At the sensitization thing that I went at Christian, it was good to know that the government was in the act of actually assisting farmers and providing a way where farmers can get loan or same way they can get potato assistance. What I get there was when the minister asks us, the farmers, say if you plant 1 acre last year, try and plant 2 acres this year in order to build Jamaica. So that is my goal.
RADA help us with seed and fertilizer. We plant whatever we get and try to take care of it with the chemicals they assist us with and the fertilizer, and with that going we get a good result.
The yield has been great, hence our life actually improved by the yield that we get. And from that crop, we are able now to purchase our own potato seeds for the spring crop.
The RADA officers tell us how to prepare land, when to start to prepare land, because the preparation is really key to this Irish potato thing, you know. So they start prepare from early, and by seeds come, all land supposed to finish plow by that, and just ready to maybe cut your drills and plant.
With land preparation, we encourage farmers to prepare the land ahead of time. We usually recommend 2 to 3 months. And in heavier soils like clay soil, we recommend like up to 4 months. Spray at least once weekly and spray preventatively. However, when the conditions become more moist, we encourage them to spray at least twice per week, or the spray period becomes shorter. We encourage the farmers to scout the field twice per week at least. They can do it more, and they'll pick up on the different pests and diseases. Some of the diseases that affect Irish potato would be like blight. We have early blight, that's Alternaria, and late blight, Phytophthora.
In 2008, Jamaica was producing only 30% of the Irish being consumed. Today we are producing over 90% of our national demand.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
While hope for many is generated through the fact that our environment replenishes time after time and provides us with all we need for basic survival, the hope for others is generated through the program of the same name. It's our government's way of providing an avenue for developing individuals to become productive members of society. Here's a story of one such person.
I was yearning for success so much that it brought me to the wrong route. I was actually incarcerated because of my actions. And that is where I got into sewing, because I had to do something to make up for the time and to keep myself active. So this program, I heard about it as soon as I was released in May 13. So it was my ray of hope. This is my change. This is my way forward. So I come with all zeal and tenacity to go forward.
Cressy Ray is just one of the thousands of Jamaican young people whose lives are being transformed because of their engagement in the Prime Minister's Housing Opportunity, Production and Employment Hope Program.
The HOPE program is about engaging with the youth of Jamaica in a meaningful way. To give them, so it is mainly a training and apprenticeship program, if I can summarize that in a nutshell. It involves engaging young persons through, firstly, values and attitudes, or what I call core skills training. Then it gets into a skills training, a very basic skills training, and then get them to serve as an apprentice for up to 1 year, honing the skills that they would have learned.
And that is exactly the course taken by the Hope Garment Construction Corps at the Heart Trust NTA Garments Academy.
The first phase was 2 weeks of what is called core skills training. Basically life skills training, different areas where they were taught life coping skills, punctuality, how to dress for work, how to manage their emotions, things like that.
I deserve the best things that life has to offer.
They were taken into the machine operating training, where the 100 were placed in 4 groups of 25 with 4 instructors learning to sew. The final phase will be going into production, where they will actually start making the shirts for the other persons. And you will see from the display we have over here that they're actually making shirts now.
Yes, you heard right. These students are actually making shirts for the over 15,000 participants of the Hope program.
When we started the program, the intent was to have everybody be in receipt of a shirt, Oxford type shirt, that would be to help to promote the good working ethics, including their own dress and deportment. To purchase shirts outright and to have them branded, the cost was really far too prohibitive in order to kit out the vast numbers that we're hoping to reach on the program. Then there was a suggestion to speak to Heart Garments Academy, and I found out that they had this massive facility with over 100 machines, which were generally being underutilized at the time.
Now these young garment makers are learning much more than stitching shirts for fellow Hope participants.
I'm enjoying it right now because I can make my own shirt, skirt, and now I'm dropping to make my own dress.
It is very enlightening, astounding. I didn't know it was so meticulous to make even a simple dress. You know, we look at it as just 2 pieces of fabric, but when you get down to the nitty and gritty, it has so many different calculations, but it's something I love.
Because the clothes wasn't working out for me,
I try to do jewelry making. It's going great so far because I can make my own jewelry, I can produce it, I can have my own store and selling them.
The length is from the waist to the ground.
And none of this would be possible without the team of hard-working instructors on hand.
At first, I didn't know anything about sewing. Then, basically, getting the steps from our instructors, and they're teaching us step by step, so you get everything and understand. And at this stage where I'm at, I'm proud of myself, because if I didn't came here, I wouldn't know to do nothing at all.
The teachers, trust me, they work hard. It's not easy dealing with us as young adults, so they work hard. And what I love about them, it's not just about passing for them. It is about sitting down with the person, making sure they understand. So I give the teachers 2 thumbs up.
They help me a lot because I give them most of them problem. And there is not an instructor here who don't know me. Because I walk around and I ask questions, how to do my shirt, and they all helped me. It don't make no sense to stay home and sit down and I look for somebody to give something when you can come out, learn a skill, and can do something for yourself.
It doesn't matter what background you're from or where you're from. Just come with an open mind and willing to learn. And once you're willing, you'll go a long way because there's hope for you.
For more information on the Garment Construction Corps or the HOPE program, call or visit a National Youth Service or Heart Trust NTA office. Toll free 1-888-432-7868 or email info@heart-nta.org.
Our environment is a gift of nature that is so important to us in so many ways. Here are a few. Number 1, our environment regulates air and climate. It provides living things with oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and other gases needed to breathe. So let's help to keep our air fresh and pollution-free. Number 2, our environment provides the soil and the food that we need. Soil is an important component for growing plants that humans and animals can consume for energy. Number 3, our environment provides shelter and clothing. Many building materials for making furniture such as wood or clay or clothing requirements such as cotton or wool are obtained from things in nature. And number 4, our environment provides many necessary medicines. Nature blesses us with many medicinal plants and even animals, such as cod liver oil from the Atlantic cod, which is important for lowering blood pressure. All these things and many more simply mean that we have to take charge of protecting our environment. That way we can make Jamaica and this entire planet the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Today's magazine has come to an end, but if you missed anything, you can watch it all again on our website or our YouTube channel. You can also keep up with the JIS team on our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.